Hi everyone. In my live the other day, we got to playing with some pop bottle caps. I have been talking to different people, and my husband's been trying, and I wanted a way to flatten them, to use them in my art journals and mixed media, and they weren't coming out very nice. I had tried several things, and he had tried several things. Well, I have kind of got a way to do it. It's time consuming and it's not for everybody, but it's working very nicely, and I'm sure there's lots of other ways out there to do it. The other thing I wanted to discuss is some ways to put holes into it, and so you can use it for charms or different kinds of things like that. So I'm going to show you these couple of things today, and like I said, we did discuss it, and I kind of showed it in my live the other day. I have these pliers. They are not expensive ones. They're Chinese, but they have no teeth. They're a flat nose plier. They have no teeth, and I use them in my jewelry quite a bit. They also don't line up real well, things like that. So what you have to do is you need to bend the edge of this bottle cap out. Now you don't want to grab hold of it and pull too hard, because if you do, you'll split the edge. And make sure that everybody can see you. And this takes a little while. We're going to work our way all the way around, and we're going to do it a couple of times. So it's like I said, it's not the fastest thing in the world, but you want to just kind of get it to where it looks sort of like a straw hat. You know, the edge is out there, and I can kind of tell by the feel of it back here on this finger. When it starts to be out far enough, it starts not to push into your finger with a sharp edge. It starts to be a lot flatter back there, and it may take 2 or 3 times around. If you try to pull this up too fast, you'll split the edge, and that's okay unless you're going to use it as a charm. And if it's used as a charm, that split edge is going to catch on things, so you kind of want to work at it a little bit slow and easy. Okay, and once you've worked it around where it's pretty flat compared to one of these, then we're going to get out our Big Kick, Big Bite, Cuttlebug, something like that. In other words, a die cut machine. And this, again, is not the easiest or the fastest way, but let me zoom back out so that you can see. There we go. And frankly, it is going to chew up your plates some, so you want to think about that. These plates can be replaced. They get chewed up just die cutting, so you want to realize that they could easily get chewed up because the edges of the bottle caps are going to push into there. That's metal. But then you just take your bottle caps, and you can take a couple at a time. I found that I can't do more than a couple at a time. For one, you've got to be careful because this thing will kick back out at you. I'm just using the 2 plates and the multi-purpose platform. And I'm just going to roll this through there. They're offline. And like I said, it takes a little bit of muscle. And I usually roll it back. And I end up with these little flat ones. Now here's one where I split it, just so you can see it. It split. And they're nice and flat, and they flattened out pretty nice as far as round goes. Let's do that again. Just realize that, you know, this is a tool, and if you ruin your plates, you're going to have to get a new plate. And watch that your handle doesn't kick at you. That's something else you need to watch for. You don't want your handle to kick out at you. Let me set this down. And I'm going to zoom you back in a little bit. And see how nice and flat they flattened out. Now, like I said, see how this one split. So, you know, that's going to happen, but you're recycling something for your art. So, the other thing is sometimes this plastic piece on the back is kind of like rubbery. Some of them have it, some of them don't. That sometimes will start to pull off of there, and you can just yank it off. I didn't worry about it because it doesn't bother me. I'll just have to glue this one down and put it under another one or something like that when I put that one down. So now I have these fun little flattened tabs that I can use in my mixed media stuff, and I need to put a hole in it. Now, many of you have this. It's, oops, just a minute, let me get out there. Okay, well, that's a big bite crocodile or a crocodile. I put a hole in this one with it, but it did not like it. It was not having a good time, and when I went to put a second hole, it didn't want to do it, and I don't want to ruin my tools. So, I mean, it's one thing to use your tools, it's another thing to ruin them, and I can buy new plates, but buying a new crocodile I didn't really want to have to do. So I have a couple of other tools. This one is it's called a screw punch. Okay, you screw this little thing down. Now, one side sets eyelets and one side punches holes. This is a jewelry tool for the most part. I have a lot of jewelry tools, so that happens to be my stash. But you can get these. These tend to be a little more expensive than the other tool I'm going to show you, and I'll show you how both of them work. This is also a jewelry tool. It's for punching metal. And if you see, there's a little tiny pin right there, and it goes into a little tiny hole. Okay, so when it closes down, it closes into a little tiny hole. And it will punch right through this metal. It very nicely went through. I'm just going to try to put it right in the top. And now if you punch out here in the very edge, that's thinner, and it will probably punch with a lot of things. But I wanted to punch my hole in a little further. Also wanted it to line up, and I just squeezed it, and I have a nice little hole. Okay, let's see. Can you see my little hole? There, the little plastic piece didn't come off the back. Okay, so that tool works really, really well, and you can buy these a lot of places. This is not a hard to find tool, and it punches great holes. It will also punch holes in cardboard or oh, I had a little piece of cardboard here. This is a piece of cardboard that I put book paper over the top of, and it'll punch holes right through that. It's a little tiny 1/16 inch hole, and it works real well. So it's, you know, not a bad tool to have. This is, like I said, called a screw punch, and you twist it down to make it punch the hole. So then the pin actually goes into a little hole down there. And I'm just going to figure out where I want to put my hole. And screw this little thing down. see. Let me turn it sideways before I punch all the way through. See how it's going to work? Now this may spin as the hole goes into it. And I don't know if you could hear that little click, but the hole went right on through. And then you just back it off. Now, one of the things about this one is because it doesn't pop right back open, sometimes it gets stuck on there. But now you have a little hole in this one. So both of those things work really well. This whole thing worked really well, and I'm sure, again, that it's not my idea. Other people have been using the big kick for a while to flatten these, but they weren't getting nice round things that I wanted. I wanted them pretty round and even. Less like they got run over by a car and more like they were nice flat charms to use in my art. So if you have any questions, do make sure that you ask down in the description, on the comments. If you like my channel and the things I show you, please do subscribe and give it a thumbs up. And I thank you very much for watching. Today I'm going to read you a quote from 1000 Ways to Creativity. You can only follow in the footsteps of others for so long. When you stop seeing the footsteps of others, you have reached the land of creativity. Now go have fun. Have a great afternoon. Make some art. Bye-bye.